Hello everyone. Wanted to continue on my legend series. And by the way, tomorrow the Australian Open tennis is starting 2024. So looking forward to the tennis. I'm sure tennis fans are looking forward to it as well. Today I'm going to give Fred Trueman, who was nicknamed Fiery Fred, one of the greatest fast bowlers in the history of cricket. His full name was Frederick Seward Trueman. He was born 6th February 1931, and he was from Yorkshire. He played his cricket for England, obviously, and also for Yorkshire. And he played 67 test matches, and he took 307 wickets at an average of 21.57, and he had 17 5-wicket hauls and 3 10-wicket hauls. And in first class cricket, he took 2,304 wickets at an average of 18.29, and he took 126 5-wicket hauls and 25 5-wicket hauls. I mean, this is the second highest I've ever seen anyone take first class wickets. In my video, WG Grace, I said he had taken 2,809 wickets. I'd never seen anyone take more than 2,000 wickets, but Trueman 2,304 wickets. And he was one of the greatest bowlers of his time. When I was growing up, listening to a lot of commentary, Jeffrey Boycott, a lot of older players, Michael Holding in the 90s, especially early 90s. I've heard so much about Fred Trueman. I've also read a lot about him. And he and, Brian Statham and Fred Trueman formed one of the greatest opening bowling partnerships of all time. They were very famous. And Fred Trueman, he's the first bowler in Test history to cross 300 wickets. Lance Gibbs of West Indies is the second one and the first spinner to do that. But Fred Trueman was the first bowler in Test history to pass 300 wickets. And when he retired with 307 wickets, he was the record holder of the highest number of Test wickets, obviously. And he did have a lot of problems with the cricket establishment and its management, and he always had problems. So he did miss a lot of tours of England. So otherwise, he would have easily taken more than 400, maybe even 450 Test wickets if he had played all the matches that England played. But because of his constant issues with the cricket board, he missed out on a lot of tours. I mean, I have seen his bowling action in YouTube many times, and he used to run, and he used to have that side-on action, and he was very strongly built. And another notable thing, I mean, normally when you talk about fast bowlers, all fast bowlers, 95% of the fast bowlers are 6 foot and above. But Trueman was only 5 foot 10 inches. The one fast bowler that I can definitely quickly think that who was quite short was Malcolm Marshall of West Indies. But Trueman was 5'10", but he has a very strong action. He used to run in and side arm. I mean, he used to get a lot of pace and bounce, extra pace and bounce. And he was a very hostile bowler. And that is obviously why he was called Fiery Fred. You can imagine how hostile and how scared off he was if he was named Fiery Fred. And in 1953, he was one of the Wisden Cricketers of the Year as well. And his talent, his skill, and his public profile was really so big that English Prime Minister Harold Wilson, who is also from Yorkshire, once kind of jokingly said that Fred Trueman was the greatest living Yorkshireman. And he had that, like I said, that side-on action and outswing. He used to have a really potent outswing. That was his main weapon. And batting wise, he wasn't a very bad batsman. He was a useful late order batsman. And in first class cricket, he has scored 3 centuries as well. And he was very famous for fielding at the leg slip. That was his favored position to field, the leg slip. And he used to take a lot of catches at leg slip. And he also was a very good football player. He played for the Lincoln team when he was in service, his military service, and he was obviously, like I said, even the Dennis Compton I was saying played for Arsenal. I mean, a lot of English players of the older generation, they were multi-talented, used to play soccer as well. So he did play for the Lincoln team as well. And with, like I said, with Statham, Fred Trueman were formed one of the greatest bowling opening pairs of all time. They were really feared. And for first class cricket, I was saying about him, 2,304 wickets. That is a lot. Sorry, I took a break, and he was rated as a Wisden once as the greatest bowler that England had ever produced. That's how great Trueman was considered, and I've heard a lot. But like I said it before in my video, I've heard so many ex-players talk about Trueman, especially Boycott, Michael Holding, Richie Beno. A lot of the ex-older players talk a lot about Trueman and how fast he was and how much he achieved. I mean, the first bowler to pass 300 wickets, and he was a very strongly built person. Like I said, he had powerful shoulders, and I mean, his action. You should probably have when you have time. Please have a look at YouTube. He used to run in, and he used to have that side-on action, and he used to really get extra pace and bounce from the pitch than other players didn't used to get. So anyway, that is my video on Fred Trueman, nicknamed Fiery Fred, and one of the greatest fast bowlers of all time. The first bowler in Test history to pass 300 wickets, which is a great achievement, especially at that time. And like I said, if he didn't have problems with the cricket establishment, and if he had played all the matches that he could have played when he was in his career, he could have easily gone past 400 wickets or even 450 wickets. So that's a sad thing that happened, but still 307 wickets. And his average at 21.57 is excellent. There aren't a lot of fast bowlers around who can claim to have a average less than 21.57. Probably spinners might have, but fast bowlers 21.57 is an amazing bowling average. And he was lethal. I mean, I said in first class cricket, he took 126 5-wicket hauls. That is a lot, and 25 10-wicket hauls. So that is my video for Fred Trueman. Older generation people would probably really enjoy this video because they have probably heard a lot about Trueman and read a lot about Trueman. Thank you everyone for joining in. Take care, and God bless you.